Aubrey de Vere, 20th Earl of Oxford KGPC, was a Royalist during the English Civil War. Biography. He was the son of Robert de Vere, 19th Earl of Oxford, and his wife Beatrix van Hemema. He was educated at Friesland in the Netherlands after his father was mortally wounded at the Siege of Maastricht in 1632, when de Vere was only 6 years old. Years later he joined the English regiment of foot serving on the continent with the Dutch. He remained in Holland, but returned to England in 1651 an ardent Royalist. He was involved in a succession of plots, for which he was imprisoned in the Tower for allegedly plotting against Cromwell. He was interned without trial. On release he joined Sir George Booth's rising in 1659 against Richard Cromwell's regime. He went with 5 other peers to petition The Hague for the return of King Charles II in early May 1660. Hoping but failing to become Lord Chamberlain, he was offered the colonelcy of the Blues. As a great favourite of Royal Mistress Barbara Villiers, Duchess of Cleveland, he courted the Earl of Bristol's daughter, whose family were in high favour at court. The Earl of Bristol's daughter married the Earl of Sunderland, a Secretary of State, but he lobbied the King on Oxford's behalf. Oxford was made Lord Lieutenant of Essex and a Knight of the Garter. Oxford's dashing image was as one of the last Cavaliers, louche, immoral, but temperate and moderate. Tall, distinguished, and good-looking, he looked slightly disdainful. Censorious Whigs like Samuel Pepys deplored seeing Oxford wearing his Garter regalia in public, and there was a rumour that he married an actress in secret. Despite being a Cavalier, he adhered to Protestant principles permitting Quakers and Puritans to join the regiment. He was a friend of Monmouth, a great soldier. Oxford raised a regiment of horse from 1684 onwards, just as the Life Guards were being withdrawn from Dunkirk. They were properly the Royal Regiment of Horse, but known by the colour of the uniforms as Oxford's Blues. He was Colonel of the Blues. Royalist volunteers added strength to this Protestant regiment. It was Charles II's policy to expand the army beyond the colonel that he inherited. Oxford gained the disapproval at court of the favourite, the Duke of Buckingham, who had declared undying enmity. Oxford replied that he neither cared for his friendship nor feared for his hatred. A troop of horse, excellently mounted, of the Royal Regiment of my Lord Aubrey de Vere, Earl of Oxford, inspecting every file of the company, the officers of which wore a red sash with gold tassels, wrote Prince Cosmo of Tuscany on a visit to London in 1668. Oxford was present at the First Army Board on 5 August 1670, chaired by the Duke of York. On 5 July 1685 Sir Francis Compton was promoted to command the regiment. Oxford wanted the post for himself but was prevented from taking it by the King. Oxford was responsible for kitting out his regiment, and ordering a standard blue uniform from a woolen draper, Mr. Monnox of the Strand, Middlesex, whose son was killed in the service. In February 1688 he told King James, "I will stand by your Majesty against all enemies to the last drop of my blood, but this is a matter of conscience and I cannot comply." Oxford was Lord Lieutenant of Essex, responsible for raising troops in the county, but refused James II's order to appoint Roman Catholics to public offices. He was deprived of his offices. Months later he took the side of William of Orange against James II in the Glorious Revolution. He was restored to his titles and the colonelcy of the Blues, and exempted the commission of inspection by the Convention Parliament of April 1689. The Secretary at War, William Blathwaite, wrote asking for details of all offices removed by absolutism. On 1 February 1689, Oxford and Compton lobbied Parliament to pass a vote of thanks to the army for the Whig constitution, testified the sturdy adherence to the Protestant religion and being instrumental in delivering this country from popery and slavery. He died in 1703 sine prole mascula, making the title extinct. His daughter Lady Diana de Vere married Charles Beauclerc, Duke of St Albans. Family. On 12 April 1647 he married Anne Beining, a daughter of Paul Beining, 2nd Viscount Beining. Anne died in 1659 and Aubrey married Diana Kirk, daughter of George Kirk and granddaughter of Aurelian Townshend. They had 5 children: Charles, who died as an infant; Charlotte, died young; Diana, who married Charles Beauclerc, 1st Duke of St Albans; Mary, died unmarried; Henrietta, died unmarried. Since he had no surviving sons and as no other suitable claimant came forward, he became the last de Vere Earl of Oxford, one of the longest-lived titles in the peerage of England. The first de Vere Earl had received his title from the Empress Matilda in 1141.